The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
Caution. You are now entering the all-consuming realm of Shay's Paranormal Chat, where the things that are better left unsaid are actually said.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Shay's Paranormal Chat. Paranormal podcasting done Shay's way. Tons of fun.
Dude, seriously?
A bit sarcastic.
Hashtag investigator, not hunter.
But always real.
Hashtag data, not evidence.
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Oh my god, really?
This is real, raw conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. TGIF as always. I hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful Friday. And I always say as always, and she always corrects me. I'm just going to say. And tonight, the beautiful Killer McCarville is back with us. How you doing? Barely. Yes. We both got a little bit too much sun.
Oh my gosh. No, well, so yeah, I ended up not having to work today because, they decided when they were going to take away part of my pay that they'd give us a couple of extra days off. So I went out with Mama Pat unexpectedly, and it's a whole story. You know me and my fear of bridges. We went over this bridge between Iowa and Wisconsin, but they're working on it. And as I'm on the road to get to it, I'm like, I'll just turn left instead of going across the bridge because I was terrified. You could see they were stopping cars on the bridge. You couldn't. At that point, I had no choice but to go across the bridge. And so I'm like starting to cross this bridge and they start drilling and the bridge is shaking. And oh my God, it was the worst experience ever. So then we have to try to figure out how to get back home and get across that goddamn Mississippi River without going back across the bridge of death that they're trying to tear apart. I literally walked in minutes before I got online with you, and that was only because my wonderful boyfriend had everything all set up for me, including my drink. Right? Yes. And he took Mama Pat home because she was in my car, and I didn't have time to get her across town and home.
Oh,
so
thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's my hero tonight.
Oh, mine too. Mama Pat just said in chat you cried.
I did.
You did.
I don't think you quite grasp the terror that bridges bring to me.
You always make fun of me for being a paranormal investigator, being afraid of the dark and being afraid of the woods that I'm always in.
Well, that's because there's nothing to be afraid of for ghosts. Bridges are real imminent death.
No, it's just the dark and the woods I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid of the ghosts. All right, before we forget, we have a guest. We should. I'm very excited. I've wanted Jessica to come on for a long time. Tonight we have Jessica Raglio with us. How you doing, Jessica?
I'm good. How's everybody?
We're doing good. I am really excited because we accidentally met. And
yes.
What, 2 plus years ago? I don't know.
I think so. It's been a bit.
Yeah, it has. We accidentally met, and I was so confused on how many people I met that day. I thought you worked at the asylum, and I was following you around in abandoned buildings because I thought you worked there. And then I realized, oh, wait, this is the paranormal investigator, not the So, but she was nice. She gave me information and everything else. So, just took me a few minutes.
I know a little bit about everything. I think.
Yes. Before we get into the interview, I'm gonna do some quick shout outs here to the first people in chat. Let's see. I'm gonna try anyways. We have Darren. We have Mama. I almost said Mama Craft. Mama Pat. I don't know what's wrong with me. We have Sonia in there. We have Mama Deb in there. We have Matt. Let's see. Who else do we have? Eye the Beholder. I see him up there lurking. And we'll get to the rest at the end of the show. So you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
This is the part that's always hard, right?
Yeah, I can't do it. I suck at when I talk about myself, so.
It's like none of this is interesting.
No, I am. I mean, it's just hard to talk about yourself.
It's true. I'm like, hey, let me promote myself. I mean, I've been into the paranormal since I was young, and so I kind of like to call myself a paranormal enthusiast because I'm interested in so many different aspects of it. Like I'm into herbalism. I'm into anything, and I do a little bit of research. I have for a long time into every part. So I know, like I said, I know a little bit about everything. And a lot of people like it because they'll ask me, like, oh, I saw this thing in a tree. I was on mushrooms and I saw this thing in a tree. And what was it? And I'm like, oh, well, that's this. And, I get like strange questions, or like, because I have different jobs. Actually, I work for an airline and I bartend, but people know that I do, paranormal. Like we'll do a seance, or, I'll go live about, something if we're at a haunted location or something. And I'll get the weirdest questions from people from work. Like I get like Messenger. In the night, and you guys will probably get stuff like this, but it's like, in the night, a lady comes in my room and sits on my chest. What should I do? I'm like,
tell her to get off.
How do you feel? Yeah, how do you feel when that happens? Because I think, like, ultimately the most important part of it is I'm not trying to promote myself. I'm trying to help people. So
yeah.
Like, if somebody messages me that, I'm gonna tell it to leave.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there. Unlike you can do this kind of herbs in your house, you can light this incense, you can do things, and that, because that's kind of, but at the same time, it's like I have the inquisitive side about it, so I want to go to their house and I want to like look for it, Yep. But
she says she does a little bit of research. I don't think her term "little bit of research" and my little bit of research is the same thing. I just want to put that out there.
My little bit of research is I'm pulling up to a location. I asked somebody I'm with, so what do we know about this place?
All right, let's see. Jessica, you want to play a quick game?
I do.
All right. You listen to the show, so you probably already know it's coming, but that's okay.
I know the game.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes. So, just for anybody that's listening that might be new, this is called This or That. It's 5 or 6 questions that we always ask every single guest, so I just made it into a game, a couple years ago now, and then I stopped doing it for a while and trying to remember to do it all the time now. So, here we go. All right. Investigator or hunter?
Investigator.
Data or evidence?
I'll say data.
Provoking or no way?
No way.
Residential or commercial?
I'd say residential. I mean, I like both, but I think residential would be my first pick.
Orb or dust?
It depends. A lot of times it's dust, but it depends.
Recorder?
I've seen some pretty...
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Recorder or video?
Video.
Demon or just an asshole ghost?
Asshole ghost.
See, it's pretty easy, pretty fun. It just. What were you saying about the orbs?
Well, because I have an orb picture that is awesome, but I get it. Like people, it could be a bug, could be anything, but I look at it and you can see like a little girl's face in it, and it's so awesome. But then, you get the people where you take a picture of the sun and there's a green spot in your picture.
Yep.
It's like, oh, there's an orb in that picture, because people want to believe.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is like, sometimes I've seen very convincing orb pictures. So, I'd say both, but I mean, not everything is an orb, and I'm very, very for, well, that's not what that is,
I believe there are orbs. I call it usually light anomaly, just because the word orb is
Yeah.
so. But I do believe in them. I just think most of the time, what you see out there is usually dust and stuff. Not always, but
Yeah.
not always.
I like she said, I have seen some pretty intriguing ones.
Yep.
But they're few and far between. But I have seen some pretty intriguing ones, most definitely.
I like when you see them with your eyes, and then I'm like, okay, because that has nothing to do with lens flare or, So
Yeah.
We have our first question in chat from Darren. He wants to know, what do you fear the most in the paranormal?
Probably people. I have like an underdeveloped sense of fear when it comes to stuff. Like, I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie, so I want to do stuff that makes me, feel uncomfortable. But I just, like, a lot of it is, there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of just, stuff that, I mean, I would, yeah.
That's my biggest fear usually, is people. People and real animals.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and location hazards.
Yeah,
like
those are my top three.
Holes in the floor or something sticking out that I will inevitably walk into, and
Yeah. Jessica, am I allowed to say what state you're from? I didn't ask beforehand.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're still in Connecticut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Connecticut. We did a 5-day trip a couple years ago, and I love it. There's so many historical locations out there.
Everything. There's so many things, but Connecticut is amazing. It's weird too, because there's no real like huge base out of Connecticut. Like, you'll have like, there's no cons here. There's no anything.
Yeah.
Everybody in Connecticut's weird and private though too.
Yeah.
So that could be part of it, but because I docent at Old Newgate Prison.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you guys have.
I have not been.
I love it. That place is cool.
I sadly have not been to most of the places East Coast, so.
Yeah.
Well, this place was closed for like 20 years. So it's like an old copper mine, and they turned it into a prison in the 1700s. Then it was a prison for a while, and then it was a museum. The state owned it for a good while. They closed it for like 20 years or something like that. And then they reopened it. I think this would be the 3rd season, but it's not open this season. But I do too many things, but I try to like volunteer if I can, because it's a historic location and I'm like really into history. So that place is cool, because we were trying to get them to do ghost hunts, but they don't want to. So it's kind of, like I'm trying to prove that you can do it, in a responsible way, so it doesn't look hokey.
Yep.
Well, and I think there's a lot of truth to that, because, we had a location here in Iowa that for years they said, no, that's not our focus, but they got to know, well, this is my boyfriend Chris, they got to know him, and they did finally agree to let him do ghost tours in the location, because they knew he'd respect it and do it well and not make it a joke. And so don't give up, just keep being you, and don't give up asking though either. You never know when they're going to say sure.
Right. Well, they changed it where they want like a $300 deposit, and they want this and this, and I'm like, that's fine. Maybe people aren't going to do it. I'm not sure. Like, like I said, this season they can't be open, because they have a thing too where they have the bats there's like, I think there's 14 bats now, and they got the white nose disease, so they can't open until the DEP says they can open, and then when they open, it's usually like May, and this season is just done, and then you got to be done by the time the bats want to get back in.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it's cool, but it's, it's also like an ecological thing.
Yeah.
But,
definitely.
Because it's constantly 52 degrees down there.
Wow. Go ahead,
we have several questions. I don't know if you wanted to
go ahead.
get to some of those. So Darren has asked, What's been your favorite piece of gear that you're currently using?
I like if you use like an Echo Box. I'm not a big gear person, so I like if you use an Echo Box and it's just noise, but then you get that like 5 minutes where it's amazing. I think it's completely worth it. But I mean, for me, like I like to go to places. If you go to like with a big group, you're kind of helping. You're not really getting your data. If you go on your own and I know if it's haunted or not when I go in.
You go by your gut. It doesn't
matter to me to prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird. Honestly, mostly, we're in New England. Everything is haunted here. But if you go into a place and it's not haunted, that's what makes me uncomfortable. Like, this place is weird. So,
like, what's wrong with this place? Why is there nothing?
Yeah. What's wrong with you here? This place? You guys don't want ghosts?
Right. They scare them all away.
Yeah.
I lost my questions. I was on.
No.
Both mothers have them too.
Yep. So Mama Deb was asking, and Mama Deb is Shay's mama. She asked, has your family and friends always been supportive in this field?
Yeah, I'm the weirdo in the family, And one thing that was cool to me was when I started like being on the internet, and you find all these people that like the same things that you like. Because, you're trying to drag people along with you to do something they don't want to do. Oh, let's go to this haunted house. And they're like, no, I don't want to do that. So it's cool, like, that there's a community of people you say, hey, this happened in this place. And you can find somebody that's an expert in demonology. But, like, with my family, I just, my mom was, like, into it. And my mom used to read the books. And she used to take me to, like, the Warrens presentations when I was younger. And like, we used to go help this guy across the street. Me and my sister used to go over, and he used to pay us like $5 to do yard work. I think it's because he was being nice. And we went over and we knocked on his door, and we're like, oh, like joking around. Me and my sister, she's like 2.5 years younger than me. And, knock on the door, and I look in, and there's like, oh, there's a lady in there. Like, no one's answering us. And there's a lady in there. And I'm looking in, and I'm like, weird. And she was wearing like one of those old Victorian collars. And looking, and we knock on the door, and then all of a sudden you get that creepy feeling because she's just staring. Like, if we were looking directly at her, we're like staring at the side of her head, and her eyes were just vacant, like staring.
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden I'm like, this is not a real lady. And so we went home, but then you feel stupid because you're knocking on the door. We went home and we told my mom, and she's like, that's the lady that used to own that house. So,
yeah, she's like, it's okay. Like, it's just, yeah, she's fine.
Yeah, like they're accepting. Like, if your kid says weird stuff, like I had an invisible friend when I was little, and it just wasn't. I'm grateful that I didn't grow up in like a ultra religious environment, or like an environment where I was told, it was pretty creative. Like, I could do what I wanted.
It was a very accepting family.
Right.
Yeah, and then that's good, because it's like a lot of times I see kids that struggle with stuff, and they're like, well, I don't know why this kid's like this, and you're like, well, because your house is haunted. How's this kid supposed to concentrate?
Yeah, and then you got some parents that say, it's all in your head. It's all fake, or...
Yeah, quit making up stories, yeah.
Yeah, that's never good.
So would that be like... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, it's fine.
So say you have to validate children.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Was that one of your earliest experiences then? Is that kind of what got you into the field, or just kind of growing up around it all the time?
I think so. I think it's probably that. Like, I've always been like really empathetic to animals and plants and my toys, everything. So like when I was little, I used to I was like, everything has to be in the bed with us if it's cold, because, they'll get cold. My mom's like, it's a plastic horse. It's not alive. And I'm like, it's going to get cold.
Yeah, I didn't understand that fake stuff. All my Cabbage Patches, they had their own beds and had to have special blankets and,
Yeah, and some of that's mothering, like, because we're little girls, but at the same time, it's like, it really bothered me. Like, it's still, the biggest issue I have even now is, I'll feel sorry. Like, there's some weird thing happening, I'll feel sorry for it. And that, like, in the past, was not a good thing for me.
Do you think that's just empathy, or are you an empath?
If I come over your house and your plants aren't watered, it makes me uncomfortable. It's just, I tune in probably more with like nature and stuff like that, but with people, I can't, like, I've learned because I'm older now, like I can deal with it better, but I was like driving to work once and just driving on the highway and I started crying all over the place and I'm like, what is going on? And then a funeral party went by me.
Mm-hmm. I've had that.
You got to get to that point where you're, I know why I'm acting weird, just other people might not know.
Definitely.
Makes sense to me. I'm just weird.
Here's the other mama question. Yeah, I'm weird too.
So, next question is Mama Pat. That's my mama. She's asking, what is the spookiest thing that's ever happened to you?
I don't know if I'd say spooky, but there's things that are weird, and there's things that are, you go into a place. I mean, you're expecting stuff to happen, but a lot of times, like, I work for an airline, so I can go on vacation a lot of places. So I've been to a lot of bucket list places, and we were in San Jose. We went to the Winchester Mystery House, and I was all excited. And it's a big tour, and nothing's going to happen on that. So it's like you're going to the location. So I'm in like tourist mode. And then we went to, they have the Rosicrucian Museum there also. So we go to that, and we're walking around, and they've got like a labyrinth in the back. And if you go in the labyrinth, you're supposed to, go through if anybody doesn't know the point of the labyrinth, you go through the maze to get to the center.
Yeah.
Well, we went through, and it was a nice day. It's California. We go through, we get to the middle of the maze. I was with my boyfriend, Matt. And, then you go back out. And we're like, this is really nice. This is cool. We're in a good mood. Looked at some more stuff because they have gardens there. They have an Egyptology museum also. But their thing is that they believe in, it's like a cult, but it's also a religion. So that religious stuff is supposed to like kind of back up like alchemy and transmutation and all that. So we're in there, look at all the stuff. And we got there and we immediately started fighting. And they've got like a tomb that goes down inside. And I got sick. And I'm like, I don't feel good. And we're both fighting, So he goes off and does his thing. And I'm like, I don't feel good. And so I went down, I looked at everything, because it's a reproduction of an Egyptian tomb. It's really cool in the museum. And, we go back out, like I said, go through the labyrinth, go across the street to this restaurant. And by then we were both in a better mood. And they had the menu posted on the outside. So I'm standing there reading the menu, he's standing next to me, and all of a sudden we feel this big wind, like, come down and go up our bodies. And it kind of rustled the paper. And immediately he's like, I don't feel good, and he like sits down because stuff affects him more than it affects me. And I'm like, it's because it's like it wasn't like regular wind, it was something like smushing up against you like a cat or something.
Oh wow.
And when I got home, and it's like you can write stuff off to jet lag because this is like a 2-day trip, and then we come back to Connecticut and you can write stuff off to jet lag or whatever. But I started acting like a weirdo. And I'm like, maybe something's come home with me. Maybe it hasn't, And I talked to one of my friends, and she's like, why don't you just do something to get rid of it? It could be nothing. And I'm like, yeah, because like I said, I'm sympathetic to these things. So it's like you can end up with an issue, but
right.
At the same time, I'm like, oh, it's okay. So that was a little bit of a spooky time.
Oh.
Because, you'd think it'd be the Winchester house, right?
And it wasn't, right?
No, that's definitely not.
Yeah.
It was that weird labyrinth. And we looked into it, and one of their things is that they're really into kind of like, I think the labyrinth, the point of it is to trap elementals because they use their power because it's an active church there. And I'm like, if you read into the Rosicrucian stuff, it's weird because it's like they're a mix of like all different, ancient stuff, and their belief like the Egyptians and whatnot possess like an ancient wisdom. So
that's pretty cool though. Sorry, we lost Kelly, just for the record.
Kelly was having issues. She'll be back.
She'll be back.
Do we have more questions, or are we waiting?
No, we have tons of questions. Let's see, hold on. I'm getting to them. That's the one. Darren wants to know, what's your favorite or best EVP you've ever caught?
I don't have any caught. I have one we heard that was really cool on the USS Salem. So we're down in like one of the engine rooms, and it was just like a bunch of, you get like the nonsense noise.
Yeah.
And nobody was recording. And like one of our tech guy walked around the corner, and like right before that we were getting stuff thrown at us. Like I have the pieces of the stuff that got just thrown out of nowhere at us. And we're in there, and like these guys had come on the ship that I guess one of them had been a volunteer and they graduated from something, and so they came on the ship like as our stuff was like ending. So they came down and they're like, "Oh, do you guys mind if we sit with you down here?" We're like, "No, it's cool." So we're sitting down there, and it's just like gibberish, and we had a bunch of equipment out, and then all of a sudden it just started doing. He said, "What do you think of Chief?" Because it's like military talk, and he's like, "What do you think of Chief?" And the Echo Vox is like, "Fuck him." I hope I can say that.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
It was like so like crazy, like he's like, "Fuck him," like that, and then and I don't know what that means because I'm not military, and they're like, no, everybody doesn't like the person that you would call chief. It's like they're your higher up officer, and then they started like kind of talking a little bit, and all of a sudden it was like 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and all of our equipment lit up like Christmas.
Wow.
And I was like, this is awesome. Because you get like, I mean, that place is great anyway, but you get like, that 3 minutes of a great time when you've spent 6 hours trying to, listen to gibberish. So
Yeah, I went to, I think it was about 5 years ago, I did the USS Salem. It was my first big, if you want to say big, a big location. And I heard this little girl, heard it with my own ears, laugh. She just giggled. And I'm like, there was 4 of us, and then there was 2 of the boat people, ship people. And nobody else heard it. And I'm like, I heard a little girl. And they're like, oh, no, nobody heard it. And my boyfriend at the time was making fun of me. He's like, you're crazy. And we get home and do the review and picked it up on both recorders and the videos. So I was like, who's crazy now?
Yeah. So nobody got that. Like, my phone was acting crazy. We couldn't get anything. And to record, like, he had walked around the corner. He didn't hear it or get it. And there's like a bunch of, I think there was like 5 people that were there. So there was like 6 of us. And it was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. Yep. Nobody got it. Like, usually you have all this, because my friend Rick is like a tech person, so he's got all kinds of stuff. And, as soon as you start trying to do anything, everything doesn't work. So, I mean, it's fine because it's like, it's about the experience.
Right.
For me.
Yep.
So.
As long as you know that going in.
Yeah.
USS Salem's the only place I've ever caught something in a regular picture, too.
There's like, we were in one group, and then Don, that does the tours, and his people were like over on the other side of the ship, and we're all below deck, and there was like wicked loud running, stomping going on deck.
Yeah, we heard that too.
There was anyone there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was looking for my boyfriend. I thought everybody's in like that little room in the top, and I thought he was in there, so I thought he went somewhere, so I was looking for him. So I walked out and I walked down, and I saw like this big shadowy figure walking on the deck, and I thought it was him. So I'm following him, and I'm like, Matt, and we get, I'm like all the way back, and you get that like I'm alone feeling all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am alone, and I'm looking, and I could still see this shadowy guy, and then I'm like, that's not him.
That's
and
funny.
I'm kind of like, yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I just went like back in, and he's in the room, and he's like, we're waiting for you. Like, where were you? And I was like, yeah, I was just following you. So, is Kelly back?
No.
No. Okay.
Nope, not yet. Next question: have you been to Dudleytown?
I have not been to Dudleytown. I don't know if I would go.
I don't know what that is.
A lot of effort. So Dudley Town is like the history behind it is it's like a cursed town, so everybody died out in the town, and there's supposed to still be foundations there, and if you go, everything is completely silent, and you can't hear any bugs, can't hear any birds, because it's one of those spots where it's like the ground sour kind of thing, like that cemetery. It's just a bad town.
Oh.
And I know the lore of it, and I've never gone, but they also have like the thing where like it's the Melonhead people are on the road to it. I think that's the same legend, but if you go there, you can get shot. You're not supposed to be there. It's trespassing. The police will come, and it's just one of those things where so many people try to go that I've never tried to go. I know people that have gone, and a lot of people just say it's a waste of time.
But you say you feel things deeply, so you might not want to. If it's that bad.
Maybe, but I mean, who knows what the real legend is though too. You know,
True.
like if you read into the legend of it, then they say it's not a big deal and it's this and that. So
very true.
It's not. I mean, it's not close to me, so it's not something. You know that I'm sorry to disappoint.
No. Oh, I didn't even know what it was. So that was for my mother. So she'll have to fill me in after.
Yeah, it's an interesting history.
Yeah.
I wish if I was gonna go, I wish I went like 20 years ago.
Yeah. I don't even know if I've heard of it. I have a horrible memory anyway, so. Excuse me. Kelly is trying to get back. She's having some issues, but. You said you get a lot of things checked off on your bucket list. What is, a few of your ones that are still on your bucket list?
I really want to go, and I saw that there's a tour that you can do where it's 3 nights underground, but I really want to go to the catacombs in Paris.
Oh,
that would be cool.
Yes.
I haven't been to Gettysburg yet. I want to go to Gettysburg. I don't know if I'll go to the Bash this year because I wanted to and we planned to, but I don't know if I feel comfortable going.
Right. We went last year in June. Kelly, Nicole, Kerry, and me, and Mama Pat. We all went last June. We didn't go to the Bash. We went last June. We're all supposed to be going to the Bash this year too. So.
Yeah, I saw that, and I had to take work off for it and stuff, and I don't know what's going on with like that would be our reopening.
Yeah.
For bartending.
If you don't know. Yeah, if you don't feel comfortable going this year, don't go. But I highly, highly recommend it. We're talking about Gettysfield.
I know.
Gettysfield.
Why the fuck do I always do that? I try to say Gettysburg Field Bash
because it's just a mouthful. It just is.
A lot to say.
It is. I always do that.
The GBB.
Though. Yeah. I'm just going to start saying the Bash.
No, I wanted to go last year. I couldn't go. And I think we have, I work at an Elks Lodge in a historic property. It's a haunted mansion, which is awesome. And so, like, if we have, because it's a lot of it's charity for the Elks, if we have, like, a big event, I can't take it off. And last year, the Bash was on, we had, like, this big concert that raises a lot of money, and they donate a lot of money to, people don't know what Elks are, they donate a lot of money.
Yeah.
To, like, you know, children's things or like veterans things, and so it's like I can't in good conscience take the weekend off to go hang out and do cool stuff because they need me.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately, life comes first.
Yeah. I mean, I can get someone to cover for me. I feel bad.
Yeah.
There's like you work from like noon to like 2:00 in the morning. So that's what I did last year, and then this year I'm like, well, COVID-19 has completely ruined everyone's lives, so.
Yeah, it has. That is true.
Yeah.
All right, one more bucket list.
One more?
Yeah. If you can. No pressure.
I can't think of anything right now. Like, I would like to go to, I want to go to Myrtles in Louisiana. I've always wanted to go there. I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Or like castles in like Ireland or like things like that. I'd like to go, like do a tour of different, like maybe Ireland or Scotland or even Germany.
Yeah. Nothing to do with paranormal, but you just went to Puerto Rico not too long ago. Was that last year?
Yeah, it was December. We went for my birthday last year.
Your pictures were beautiful. Oh my God. I was so
God.
jealous.
I loved it. the food and the people and the place. It's so nice. And we went in the old forts. And like I said, I mean, I'm a tourist when I go to the forts. So it's like you also are trying not to get bothered, you know, because like if we do explores, like when I walk through things, like I can feel like stuff touches my hair, or, you know, like they touch you, and like I know there's stuff there, but I'm not in that mode at that time. So I'm trying to do another thing. So
Right.
like when we go to, if you go on vacation, I'm tired. Like I don't get any sleep. I'm tired, and like we're literally exploring stuff the whole time. So we go to these forts, and there's the dungeon part, and we kept walking by it. And you go in, and it's like down in the bottom of the fort. And I think, I don't know how old they are. They might be 1400s. I could be wrong. But there's like these drawings this guy did of galleon ships. I think that's how you say it, with the sails and everything, that he drew when he was like awaiting, I assume, execution. So we walked in there when they're by ourselves, and it's like pitch black, and we walk in, and we fully saw like this shadow person like go over and like go up the wall. And I'm like, that's cool. You know, because I don't usually see things. Like I do see things sometimes, and it always freaks me out. But I don't. I'm like, oh, there's something here, and it's normal. It's not a big deal. So, but that Puerto Rico is great. I mean, if you can go, it's not far. It's not that expensive, and it's so nice.
Your pictures were beautiful. They just were.
Thank you. I loved it there. I would go back in like a second.
I don't blame you.
I just want to go to the beach. My birthday's in December, so it's like I don't get to go to the beach on my birthday.
So you got to fly to go somewhere?
1 year. Right. Yeah, I was like 1 year I want to do it, and we did it, and I was so happy.
Let's see. Where's what's the longest amount of time you've ever spent on an investigation? From Darren.
I mean, if you go at like 5 and you're there to like 1 or 2, whatever that is, it's like a shift. It's like working.
Yeah. Let's see. We get so many questions.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what got asked since I missed a little bit, but
I asked
I never want to leave, though. Once you get there, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm completely exhausted after.
Let's see.
Did you ask Mama Debs about Dudley Town?
Yes, that I did ask that one. I asked that in the bucket list, so the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my internet
we're
dropped
such
out.
we're good hosts, huh?
Ah,
Hey, at least we're fun. We're not uptight.
You're missing, and now you're back, so it's okay.
Yep. We're just glad you're back.
it never fails. It's it had been too long that it was consistent shows. It had to go ahead and jump on out of here, but
Yep. I just thought she was mad at me. No,
that was
just
it.
kidding.
That was completely and totally
done.
Yep. She's like, that's it. I'm done with this Shay girl. I've had it.
That's about all I can handle over for the day, and I hang up.
This is it.
I'm just really boring. You just hang up.
No.
Let's see. She probably needed a refill and just like, no.
No, I don't think my bartender's home yet, and he does better than I do, so.
Let's see. What are your views on Spirit Box apps?
I've noticed my sister has one, and it's weird because it's like you'd think they're garbage, but I don't know. It's not an Ovilus app. It's like that, but it's like you think it's garbage, and like we noticed at one point where if you shake it, then you get different readings. So we were like kind of laughing about that. But honestly, like if you just put it on a table and it probably could pick up. I mean, I don't know the tech behind the phone, but like
be careful.
I like this. I can't think what she has, and it actually is kind of handy. It says different stuff in different spots. Like if you're like in a church, it'll say stuff related to that. And I'm like, I mean, it could be have a location finder.
Kelly, you use what, Spiritus?
Spiritus and Necrophonic are the two that we've used the longest, and then just lately I got the Phasma box, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I haven't got the Phasma box.
I mean, Echo Box kind of counts as an app, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's similar to the Echo Box.
Yeah.
See, I'm so behind. We got, Nicole and I always fought with everybody, including Kelly, about apps. Like, I was just like, because, I get stuck in my ways, and I'm like, apps suck, I won't use them. She's like, no, you gotta try this one. You don't give permission. There's no money, la 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 la. So I'm like, okay, we'll use it. We'll prove them wrong. And I had to eat crow and apologize live on air because it was crazy. My mother, Nicole, and I had some amazing experiences. Like, crazy. Crazy.
Well, and that's just the thing, I think, with anything that you're going to try, regardless of what piece of equipment is. You need to test it out. You need to have multiple experiences with it and be able to say that pretty steadily you're getting results, and even ones that can be backed up by more than one piece of equipment. That's going to lead to so much more validity for that piece of equipment. So,
and that's how I think you convinced me to use it, by saying that to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. I apologized, and and
the funny part there about it is you didn't need to, because when I started using them, I was kind of like an app on a phone. Okay, sure, and that's just like, oh, well, the spirit said half the sentence where I can hear it through my medium abilities, and the second half through the box. So
I was thinking like Ghost Radar. When somebody said apps last year,
God, no.
That's all, like Ghost Radar. People like playing Pokemon, like, with phones. That's what Ghost Radar is to me. I shouldn't say, I don't know if that's the right name for the app I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But
no, I think it's it's the one that's most popular that's out there, and I don't want to say that you never get anything on Ghost Radar, but I don't recommend it.
You know my saying, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly.
So, Leslie has joined us.
Told me, what?
Leslie has joined us.
Oh.
Yes, and
I have a question. You never know.
She does have a question, so I'm assuming it's somebody you know.
It is someone I know.
I thought so. She says, you explore a lot of abandoned places just for fun. What is the strangest experience exploring one of them? And meeting me and Nicole does not count.
Yeah, right. My friend was like, they could be squatters. Let's not go over there. I was like, they're not squatters. They're just girls.
We had equipment. I don't think squatters would have equipment.
You're squatting in an abandoned hospital. You're really weird. I mean, in the hospital.
Yeah.
Anyway, for places, I'm trying to think.
Have you ever had just a strange experience at one that you'll never forget?
One of them, I was in an upstairs room, and I'm like, just looking around and whatever. And like I said, if I'm doing that, it's a separate thing to me. I'm not trying to go hunt in those places or explore, or like, paranormal explorer or anything like that. Like, I'm just there to look and to take pictures and to see, like, I'm in the ambiance of it.
Right.
And, so I'm in this room, and I look through a couple of rooms, and then this place is like 1700s, and it's really cool. It's like a big place, and I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I don't know what happened in this room. I had no idea, but I almost felt like honestly, the feeling that I got was they've brought so many people in here. Was a weird feeling, and I don't know if it was to do with human trafficking. I don't know if it was like a rapey vibe. I don't know, and I wanted to leave, and I wasn't scared. I just didn't want to be there anymore. So like sometimes I want to leave, and I'll just go outside. Like, I don't care if everybody else wants to leave. I'll say I'm going outside and go outside. But I just didn't. There was something
was telling you.
Right there.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, and it wasn't like I was afraid to be there. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, it made me like really uncomfortably like sad. Like whatever they did to somebody or people there was not a good thing. So, and it's not the same. Like, if you go in the old asylums and the old hospitals and jails and places like that, like, you're going to pick up bad, like, energy. You're going to pick up, like, unhappiness. It's there. Like, I say that's like shooting fish in a barrel because it's there. I mean, some of those people don't even know they're dead. So when you're in there and everybody is, like, sad, you got to kind of not pay attention to that. But just in a place, like if I go into a place and I don't want to be there at all, I don't want to be there. I don't know what happened there. I don't want to know what happened there. But so that was like, for me, I mean, I don't know if she's even heard that story before, but I just didn't, like I said, I wasn't uncomfortable. I just was like, I don't want to be around this anymore. It's like being around a person that you don't like.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see what else we got. Darren says he just purchased the Echo Vox. Oh, Mama
Echo
Deb.
Vox is cool.
Is it? I've never.
Yeah,
I
I haven't got
it.
that one yet,
What,
but I've
$20?
been around it a couple times, and it's interesting, definitely.
It's noisy, and it's like annoying. And then where were we at? Bedford Hall. And Bedford Hall was weird because we were there, and it's like, how like if you go on a group investigation and you got to kind of get into like the zone with the people that you're with.
Yeah.
And like I spent a lot of time trying to have a wall where I'm not having issues because I like to live my everyday life without, having other people's problems. So if you're having problems that are people's problems plus, invisible people's problems, and like some plant needs to be watered and I got to work, I can't, it's like hard to focus. So I'm like, and it's not that extreme, but sometimes it's weird. So I've tried in the past maybe 2 years, I'd say, to be more open when I'm going to an investigation. Like I have to like really kind of concentrate on, I want to have an experience, because most of my life I'm like, I don't want to see you and I don't want to, So we go to Bedford Hall, and that was one of my times where I'm like, all right, I think we went around this time last year. It might have been in May. And I know that place is supposed to be really active, and I know like the third floor is supposed to be really active, and they shut out the third floor. So we're all like, instantly you want to go to the third floor, right?
Well, yeah.
We went downstairs, right? They have this room with like a projector in there where I think they do, I don't know if they do talks. They do tours, like different tours there and stuff, like not just haunted stuff. And they do weddings there, I think. It's a really nice place if you guys haven't been. And we were in that room, and they have all the chairs set up so you can, like just folding chairs set up so you can watch that screen. And we were kind of like sitting in there, and it was like later in the night, and I had this black sweater on, and it felt like something was like all up like on me all of a sudden, and it was kind of like weird because it's like it makes your head feel weird, like you're gonna pass out. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And my friend was taking pictures, and I felt something like come up behind me. It got really cold, and I felt something come up behind me and like grab me on the sides of my arms from the back. And the pictures she has, which I still don't have because she has to download them, you can see indents in my sweater.
Oh, from where it grabbed
and, like,
you?
They could see them in the room. So like then it moved over to like the other people that were in the room, and it was like I have a notebook on the bed, and my cat has decided he's going to rip it up. But it was just like, that was a crazy experience.
Sounds it.
So we're trying to set something back up to go back up there, but it's like with COVID, it's like really difficult.
Everything's been difficult.
Yeah, can't do anything.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes left, so we probably got time for probably only a couple more questions. Mama Deb asked earlier, or sometime, I don't know when, sorry, the chat moves quick, but have you ever been to Ledgewood Lighthouse?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I've been down on the shore.
Yeah.
You have to book the tour so that you can go out to it. Okay. And I looked into it last year, and it's like certain tours, like they have to have enough people booked, but it can't be too many. I think it's something like 4 or 6 people can go. So it's like Ledge. I think it's just Ledge Lighthouse, but she could be right. But it's
or I read it wrong.
Like, have you been to Seaside at all? Anyone? Seaside Sanatorium down in Connecticut. If you're there,
I don't think so.
And then there's Harkins Park is right there, which is like an open park, and they have that house open sometimes. And I was in there, and I smelled a dead lady. It was weird. Like I knew it was a lady, and it smelled dead. And I'm like, did someone die in here at some point? And they're like, oh, we don't know. And I'm like, well, it smells like dead. And my boyfriend,
well, I do.
Like,
yeah.
Why does it smell like dead? And I'm like, I don't know. Does it smell like dead to you guys? Because it smells like dead right now. Oh no, that's gone. But if you're there, it's all down by the shore. And when you're on the shore, you can actually see the lighthouse, like all tiny, and like Rocky Neck's down there too. So you can see, it's like off to your left. It's kind of neat. So it's like, I wouldn't call it a bucket list place, but I would like to go there.
Donna joined us in chat, and she said she's been there. Hi, Donna.
We've got a question. Yeah, we've got a question from a new gal first I'm seeing her in chat. Jennifer's asking, have you ever lived in a haunted house?
Hi, Jennifer.
Yes. I grew up in a haunted house. That's probably the most haunted place I've been.
Ooh, well, do share.
Yes, tell us.
What kind of experiences did you have?
Well, the funny part is, like, you know, I have two sisters and I have a brother. And my brother's like a lot younger. And other people have noticed too. But like, we all have this thing where, like, it's just like when my sister was probably like 15, and she was like, you know, just maybe like 5, something like that. I think I'm 10 years older than her. She was like terrified of Freddy because it was like the Freddy movies came out. And she'd be like, the Freddy hand is coming up the toilet. And she'd be like afraid of Freddy. And we're all picturing like this, you know, like that House movie with the hand that ran around?
Yes.
It had the weird long fingernails. It was kind of like that, but it was green. And
Ew.
We'd go upstairs to use the bathrooms.
Ew.
The house was built in 1858, and it's a weird house. And so we'd go up to use the bathroom upstairs, and nobody wanted to use that bathroom because it was scary. And like all of us told each other after that we'd always picture like this hand was going to grab you while you're peeing. It's like
that's enough to
so
set you free.
But everybody's thinking it, right? And nobody says anything about it till later. And then that's where the Freddy thing, like she's like, well, it wasn't really a Freddy hand. Like she tells us now because she's older. She's like, it wasn't really a Freddy hand. It just had really long nails. And we're like, oh yeah, we all, you know, in like your mind's eye, you see this creepy hand. But
and nobody said anything. That happens a lot.
No one. Yeah, nobody says anything. Like my sisters lived in this farmhouse, and you know, like one of my friends was like, "Oh, there's this guy here," and I stayed there for I think it was like 3 weeks. And there's this dude, and he just would stand in the doorway, and he had a beard and like I said, I didn't see him. I saw him in my mind's eye. I know other people did see him, and he just had a beard, and he was like a skinny guy with like a red flannel, like old farmer. Not old, like, you know, maybe in like his 30s or 40s, and he would just stand and stare at you. So like he had these 2 rooms he went in between, and he just would stand in the doorway. So like I had to sleep on the couch for 3 weeks, and I had to decide every night, like, do I want my feet near this guy or my head near this guy?
That's a tough question.
It really is. I was like losing my mind. I'm like, you know, and he just stands here, he's not doing anything. And then like when I started dating Matt, they were still living there, and he'd be like that, you know, he went over to hang out with my sister, and he came back, and he's like kind of got like tears in his eyes, and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, that stupid guy is always like staring, you know. And I'm like, yeah. And he like described him. I'm like, yeah, that's how I saw him. And they moved out, and then one of them was like at a bar, and this guy was like, you guys used to live in the house that we lived in, right? And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, it's like in the front of an apartment complex, because it was all farmland, and then they built the complex. And they saw it too. Like they lived there, like a bunch of guys lived there before my sisters lived there. My sisters lived there for a long time, and they saw him too. And they exactly the same with the red flannel shirt and the thing. And it's like, wow. So I mean, there's stuff there if everybody's seeing it,
right?
But you know, it's like I said, like, you know, I do my herbal stuff now, and I do other things. So it's like I can word this whole place so there's nothing in here, and I know how to do it. But it was kind of funny because before COVID, I'm in the kitchen like lighting sweetgrass. I got the window open. It's like, you know, January, February, and Nat's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I've decided that all the spirits that need to help us need to come in. And he's like, well, this is weird. And I'm like, I think they should come in. They're all welcome here. And then it's like, I work in an airport, and he works in a prison, so it's like all of a sudden everybody gets like slammed with COVID. And I'm like, well, see, we needed that help, because if we got sick, which we may have, I'm pretty sure, you know, probably had it. I didn't have any sense of taste or anything like back in February, but you know, we're still here. So,
well, I'm glad you're still here.
Thanks.
Yes. What a thing though. He works in a prison. You work in an airport. Jeez.
Yeah, it's fun.
So not only COVID, but I'm sure you guys must get a lot of hitchhikers
travelers. Yeah, travelers.
I call them hitchhikers. I don't know why. Well, because usually I think they, like, the only time it's ever happened, I came up with the term hitchhiker. It was from Westboro, because I said hitchhiker because it came home with us, but as soon as we opened the car door, after a couple hours of filming this stuff, and it being with us, as soon as we opened the car door, boom, it was gone.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times, like, it happens more than people know.
Yeah.
And they want to go back. So, like, they hang out with you because they're bored, or because you're empathetic to their situation, or, you know, because they want to see what you're doing, and then they go.
Yep.
And so it's like a lot of times I don't even take it seriously when somebody says something, because, you know, I'm like, well, you know, wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, like, 9 times out of 10 they go. But it's like with a case with, like, Westboro, that I worry about that, because where did they go?
They didn't go anywhere. Just because the buildings are gone, they're still on the land. They just don't realize. Yeah. They don't realize the buildings are gone.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're not. You know, like, they're going to build those old folks' homes there, and it's like.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, it's going to be interesting.
60 plus or 50 plus residential housing.
Mhm.
Something like that. Yep. Crazy.
So.
Yep.
I always think when they build something like that in a place where it used to be haunted, that they need to give, like, warning labels or something, because there's this old military base up in Prairie du Chien called Wyalusing, and it's haunted. And people who have worked there have said there's some pretty strong stories coming out of there, and they're turning them into apartments. It's like, that should really come with a warning label, but okay.
Yeah, they do it a lot.
No.
All right, one more question Darren had earlier that I missed. Do you think investigating during thunderstorms or lightning storms, I think is what he means, lightning storms, will increase activity?
I think definitely full moon does. So, I mean, I don't think I've actually investigated during a thunderstorm, but I mean, it could.
You think it might charge?
Yeah, I don't have any experience with, so I can't say, but I mean, I get where he's going with that, because it could.
What do you think,
I just haven't had the...
I think it definitely can. I mean, it's that extra level of energy that's out there, so why would it not increase it, same as a full moon can? It's just that extra oomph of energy that's out and about.
Yeah, I think so too. You want to do shout-outs, Kelly, while I...
Sure, let me see how badly I can screw this up. All right. So, shout out to Mr. Matt, of course, Shay, Jennifer, Mama Pat, Mama Deb, Darren, Sonia.
I missed it. Hi, Sonia.
I know, I missed that too. If I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. I'm scrolling. Mama Deb, did I say Mama Deb? I can't remember. Leslie, Jaron, Donna, Jennifer,
Donna.
Yep, I think I got Donna.
Eye of the Beholder, I think I said earlier.
Must have been lurking. I didn't see questions.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine.
Yes. Donna wants to know if you'll be back. Jess, you want to come back for season 3?
I would come back.
Yes.
I've had a wonderful time.
Yes. The hour goes by quick.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. Donna, you missed the first part. You can go back and re-listen anytime. It stays on there, so you're welcome to go back and listen. But yes, she will come back. Jess, do you have any social media that people can publicly follow you on, or is all yours?
I have my artist page, but it's like more.
I forgot to mention that.
My art.
Yeah, it's good though. So throw that out there. If people like art, they'll like this. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I do stuff like I'll do sculptures that are, like to ward your house with, like that kind of thing too. Mm-hmm. I have my little gargoyles and things, but I mean, there's that page. People can feel free to friend request me too. Like, I'll answer questions in Messenger. I'm not like one of those people that, I don't have like a billion Messenger requests. I get like random weird ones, but
right.
Nothing where I'm like, oh God, I can't even take it. There's so many people messaging me.
Yeah, like if they don't have a picture and they have no friends, then we don't accept.
Yeah, then it's kind of.
Yeah.
I also watch ones where it's some guy, especially like a military uniform, and all of his friends are just
It's
women.
like, oh, you have
157
mutual friends, and you look, and every mutual friend is a girl. No, I'll pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or just like the wicked hot chick in lingerie, and she just put her picture up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or it's a guy's name and a profile picture of a girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
It's horrible that you have to police them before you accept them, but oh well.
Weird. All right.
I accept people I don't know.
I do
Oh,
with this
like
mutual.
Like I said, if you check them out,
I check them all out before I accept.
Oh, at least half of my friends list I've never met in person, and that's perfectly fine. They're my friends, but yeah, I do check them out first before I accept them.
Yep. We have one more question that it's a Darren question, and we ask on every show. And we've had some doozies of an answer. There's no right or wrong answer. You can be as technical as you want. You can be as funny as you want. Anything goes. What is the one object in the whole world you would never want to be haunted?
I knew this one was coming.
Yeah.
And so I will say, I have no clue. But my first thought was like a car, because I feel like a car would be like, that'd just be horrifying. Like you have a haunted car, like Christine, trying to kill you and kill other people. But as a little aside, I actually had someone, I have in my care a haunted typeset, which is the weirdest thing. So it's like, that makes me think of, it's like a utilitarian object. Like I know people have said funny things or like real pervy things, but like honestly, the worst thing I could ever think that could happen is if like my boyfriend was possessed by a demon. It's actually like a fear.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Because I'm like, he's so strong. That would be terrifying. But no, this guy got a haunted typeset through the internet by accident. It was supposed to be a present for his daughter, and he was like something was like laying on him while he was sleeping, and like scratching him and like all this stuff. He's like, can you just take it? It's out in the shed in the backyard. We don't want it in the house anymore. And
Right?
it's like 100 years old. And so I have it in we want to actually check it out because I want to see what's there and if something needs to go back to where it needs to go back to or whatever, but I don't know what's up with that. I have it in like a protective thing and they're like, thank you so much for taking it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just take it. And he's like, don't put it in your house. And I'm like, well, it'll be fine. I mean, it's fine. There's no big deal,
Yeah.
Like if you can't, it is what it is, but I feel like it'd be like if it was your stove or your car or something like that. I think it would be completely terrifying. Like your stove's trying to burn your house down.
Or your toilet.
Yeah.
Oh, your toilet would suck. That would be scary. We lost Kelly
Running
again.
all night, you're like, oh, Kelly's gone.
Yeah, that's right. We love you, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
She was frozen for.
She's still gone.
Yeah, she was frozen for a couple minutes, so I figured she was gonna.
Yeah.
All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna wrap this up. Jessica, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Oh yeah, you're welcome back anytime. Season 3 is coming up in September, so you want to come back? You are always welcome.
Okay.
Maybe next year after COVID goes away, we can get together and meet up somewhere halfway.
I know.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, hi, Kim. Thanks, Kim, for joining us.
Hi, Kim.
I don't think we said Kim. So, everybody's saying good show and good night, and they loved it, and they want you to come back. So
Awesome. That's good.
Yes, awesome. All right, hold on one second. Hold on one second, Jessica. Okay, so guys, next week I have David, hold on, let me look. Oh, I'm horrible. David Ditchfield, that's what I knew the double D's, but I couldn't remember. We'll be talking about his near-death experience and what type of proof he brought back with him afterwards. Kelly's not with us next week, but my friend Ashley is going to be joining as the fill-in co-host because I think I will be needing help on this one. I can't wait. It's going to be an awesome show, so I hope you guys join us and have an awesome weekend. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay out of trouble. Till next week, guys. Bye.